I've always been a writer, but right now I just sat down and I had an exercise that I used to do, which was, what book could I sit down and write right now? It's just a good exercise to think about, to get your brain working creatively. And I came up with some ideas, but aside from fiction, I don't have anything that's really gripping or that I think, man, I need to write that. And that's different than any other time in my life. Ooh, look at this neat rock. This part of Texas is so cool because there's granite and crystal just right here on the ground. Anyway, I didn't have any ideas just readily springing to mind. And I was feeling kind of oh, I don't have any great ideas. And then I thought, who cares? That's not why I came here. And I'm not defined by my ability to write a book right this minute. I say that just kind of to throw it out there, just to encourage you maybe. Maybe there are things that you used to do or you used to always be, and now you just feel golly, I never get to do that, or whatever it is. We don't always have to be the same things for our whole lives. There are seasons of life, there's growth, there's changes that happen in us, and I think it's okay to not be what you used to be, or even just not right now. Today I released the video about living in reality. It seemed like many of you were interested in that idea. I kind of wanted to tease out a little part of it. I talked about how it's been a good practice for me to consider that, today I was editing video and there was just some video of my stomach that I just was really embarrassed about, or it looked embarrassing. And I kind of just took that moment to let it sink in. That's really how your stomach looks. I should let that affect my eating decisions and all of that. I also wanted to think through, I mentioned friendships in that vlog. Part of living in reality is also just like the photo feedback. Photos give us feedback about what we actually look like. Friendships and relationships give us feedback about what we are really like. And one thing that I have observed about myself is, I think because I have a somewhat nurturing personality, I truly enjoy extending myself for others and meeting needs when I can. And I'm not saying that there couldn't be selfish motivation. I think sometimes there can be for that. And I think we can tell the difference sometimes if there's resentment involved, if there's not a particular outcome. But I often just enjoy it. If I know somebody's going through a hard time, I love to find a way to be practically helpful or to lend assistance in some way. But knowing that about myself, especially because we've been in ministry, has made me realize that trait can make me feel like I'm friends with someone, when actually what has happened is I have filled a role in their life that they wanted and needed me to fill, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they perceived me to actually be their friend. And so when there has been rejection on that front, or just dropping, it's taught me a lot about who my actual friends are, because one of the reasons why they were saying words that sounded like there was friendship between us, what was actually happening was I was filling a role that they needed or felt the need to have filled in their life. And that's kind of like a Lego, it's interchangeable. You're the 6 circle red brick. Well, They don't like that you're gone, but they can make do with the green brick. They don't need you. And the difference between someone for whom you've just met needs and a friend is that a friend actually steps back and perceives you as a separate human with your own needs and goes about finding ways to care for you in return. Maybe that will help someone else. It's helping me be less emotional and less hurt about friendships to consider that certain people just, they may have used the words friend, but for them, I didn't actually truly fall in the category of friend, if that makes sense.